And welcome in to another episode of Off Script. My name is Zak Herbstreit. Ladies and gentlemen, college football fans out there, Oklahoma versus Michigan is officially set. We have the date. We have the time. So now's the time for the way too early preview of this game. But before we get into it today, if you enjoy college football, if you enjoy the channel, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel as well. It really helps me out a lot, so I appreciate you guys. But let's get into it today. Probably one of the biggest games of the entire year. It's not a crazy thing to say. It's right up there with Ohio State, Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU. Like, this is one of those magnitude kind of games, like season-defining games in week 2. Game is being played September 12th, noon kick, big noon kickoff. And I feel like if you're an Oklahoma fan in general, you're pumped that it's a noon game. You don't have to play in the big house at night. And then on the flip side, if you're a Michigan fan, you're not too thrilled because you're not playing in the big house at night against a top-tier opponent like Oklahoma. So in general, a lot of mixed opinions on this one. Big noon kickoff. I know a lot of people out there have mixed opinions on them as well. And I, for one, not going to say too much on it, but, I'd like to see this one at night. Absolutely. But get into it a little bit here. First real test for both these teams. And I really feel like it's an important game because it really sets the trajectory for the seasons of these two teams. And last year, take a look at last year, especially at this Oklahoma team. Who knows what this team could have been if Mateer doesn't get injured? They were riding the high after this Michigan win at home last year, and you get El Matador from Mateer, a lot of Mateer Heisman murmurs around there. So Mateer doesn't get injured, this team could have been skyrocketing. And then they lose to Texas, they beat Alabama. Still a pretty successful season nonetheless, but flip side, look at Michigan too. They kind of bounce back, play Central Michigan or something like that, middle tier Big Ten teams like Nebraska, and then end up losing to USC and then have a so-so subpar season at the end of the day. So these early games, these early monumental games like this really do kind of define your season, the morale of your season, the morale of your players, your team, your coaches. So really important game nonetheless, but way too early preview on this game. Here's where my head's at on this. First off, all eyes on Bryce Underwood. And for me, I think this is the game where he either proves he's the guy for Michigan. The guy meaning he will bring Michigan back to being a championship contending team, playoff team. Or if he doesn't show up and play well, is it time to start having that conversation? Is he the guy for Michigan long term? And I think for the most part, his runway is still pretty long. Like, I don't think this is the make or break game for Bryce Underwood by any means. But I think it's maybe time to start having that conversation. Is he the best for the program at the end of the day? If he doesn't perform incredibly well against Oklahoma in week 2 or just show some promise, then I'm going to start having that conversation. Then I'm going to bring it up a little bit and be like, well, who else do they have maybe? Or not even that, just like, what else can we do? How else? Because you can't put everything on this kid's shoulders. Everything, you have the two-headed monster with Jordan Marshall and Savion Hyder, and then J.J. Buchanan on the outside, Marsh, French. You have weapons on the outside too. So in some way, you got to also throw it out there on them, throw it on the running backs, throw on the O-line. Usually the bread and butter in the past has been the O-line in general. So I think at the end of the day, I do still think he'll have chances to prove himself. He could lose this one against Oklahoma in week 2 and then go out there and beat Oregon. He could go out there and beat Ohio State, and then I'll eat my words. I promise you right now, I will say I was wrong, but I do think if he does perform poorly against Oklahoma, that the conversation does need to be brought up that just considering maybe this is not our guy. Maybe we were wrong about this. That's really the biggest thing about this game. That's probably the top thing, is just all eyes on Bryce Underwood in this game and how he performs. The second thing here is, will the Oklahoma run game hold up? That's the question here. And I'm a really firm believer that in matchup games, especially in the playoff and years prior before the playoff, but just in matchup games in general, that whoever wins the rushing battle usually ends up winning the actual game itself. So Oklahoma in general last year, that was not their strong suit. Running the ball was not their strong suit. And I feel like a broken record. I feel like every single time I talk about Oklahoma, it's like they need to run the ball better. Even the national media, they need to run the ball better. I feel like they know they need to run the ball better, and they addressed it in spring. They brought in a lot of transfers in the offensive line. Look bigger, stronger, faster. They're actually getting pushed in the line of scrimmage. So that's encouraging to see. And then if you watch the spring game as well, had a lot of chunk plays on the ground. It was great to see. I was like, yes. That was really one of the things I wanted to see was Oklahoma running the ball. Let's go. We got that done. But the big thing here with me is, can this Oklahoma team handle the noise? Can they handle the pressure? Can they stay on schedule? Because the Big House, one of the best environments in all of college football. Seriously. Biggest stadium in all of college football, 110,000 people. It is incredible. So can they conserve their timeouts? Can they be on schedule? Can they handle the noise? Can they not false start? That's kind of the question for me right now. And that's a big component of this game, is handling the noise. And the last thing for me is, I think this is just going to be a defensive battle. At the end of the day, it's going to be Jay Hill versus Brent Venables. Low-scoring game. Which defense looks better early on in the season? That's really what it's going to come down to. But Oklahoma fans, Michigan fans, let me know what you guys think of this game. Obviously, we're a couple months away, so it might change throughout a couple months. I don't know, but I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. But like I said, my name's Zak Herbstreit. This is Off Script. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you guys soon.